Well, hello there, guys, and welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4 here with Radical Yugoslavia, also known as Socialist, or Fascist, excuse me, not Socialist Yugoslavia. If we had been Socialists, things would be going pretty well for us right now. But, guys, we are fighting off the massive Soviet invasion here of our country, and I'm trying to do the best I can. But we have very limited resources, and the Germans aren't much help at this point. The Italians, of course, have started a war with the Greeks to the south. For what reason, I don't know, because they're not even here. But nonetheless, we have to respond. So I'm going to actually take Army 2 here, despite the fact they can't really help much. And I'm going to form a new front line. Or actually, we'll form an offensive. We might as well. To Athens. I don't think they're going to follow that offensive. We're just going to attack en masse. Alright, so it looks like the Hungarians are helping us in this war. They're probably just as terrified of Soviet invasion as we are. I really do want to break through and help these guys over here, but I don't think that's going to happen. They're garrisoning this area right now. And we're going to try to hit this guy from multiple areas. Let's go ahead and choose a national focus. We have ideological fanaticism. I wish we could start focusing on liberty ethos now, but it's a bit late for that. So we'll go ahead and focus on the doctrine effort. A bit late for that too. Alright, as you can see, the Americans are actually fighting alongside the Soviets now, assisting in the push over here to the west. The Allies and the Soviets are fighting together basically to crush us. And we might be the first fascist nation after Romania to be pushed down, to be destroyed. I'm not sure, but it certainly looks that way. We're going to go ahead and have these guys just garrison an area at this point. Go for it. There's not much left of our country, so we need to go ahead and do our best with what we have left. And I'm going to do... Okay, these guys already have a garrison move, sorry. So there we go. They're following the garrison move currently. Let's see how our German friends are doing in the attack on Paris. At least they're trying to launch a brand new offensive. It's not going very well, but they need to take Paris. If we can actually take Paris back, maybe they can send some forces here to assist us. But if that's not the case, if they're not able to do that, I think we're pretty screwed. Let's take a look here. Radical Yugoslavia has capitulated. That's it, guys. We have given up to the enemy. It looks like we have a small amount of troops, I guess. Let's take a look here. This is interesting, to say the least. And over here, we could take a look. We do have a few units, apparently. Of course, we are capitulated under the Soviets. And I wonder what happens here. What happens? Do we continue playing? Is there anything we can do? The tungsten trade with German Reich, of course, it was modified. We have nothing left, and it looks like the enemy is still pushing in here. Soviets still have to take a few of our territories, but they've definitely managed to take this area. Now, what would be awesome is if they released us under Joseph Broz Tito. That would be absolutely awesome. But I think this is pretty much the end of our participation in the war. And what I am going to try to do is get a communist here. We don't have one. We just have fascist demagogues. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fast forward, guys, see if the war will end pretty soon here. Of course, there's a lot going on, and it looks like the Germans might be about to take Luxembourg. We're still, you know, a country, technically, but we're probably in Berlin right now talking with German officials discussing how we're going to get our country back. Of course, there are still territories that are trying to fight back here, but I don't think it's going to last very long. We do still control some very small locations, but the enemy is slowly closing in on those. Alright. It looks like the Russians are pushing up here from the south. Not a good situation. So far, we're only in March 1941, guys. If this war ends before 1942, I'm going to be very disappointed in the Axis. Alright, the Soviets are pushing on Warsaw. They should be there very soon. It looks like the fall of Berlin is almost inevitable now. There we go. We have absolutely nothing at this point. We own nothing at all on this map. So right now we're really hoping, basically, that the Germans can free our country and return it to us. I don't think that's going to be happening, though. And look at this, guys. The radical Republicans in Spain are actually pushing against the Germans here as well, putting up a pretty good fight in the assistance of their French allies, and the Russians are closing in on Berlin, guys. We're definitely going to watch the conclusion here, because the conclusion will show up, believe me. I will research technology, but I don't see the point, unless, of course, we get released under Tito afterwards, which would be really great if the Russians are kind enough to release us and give us a new state. And Slovakia has capitulated. It's only a matter of time before the Soviets reach Berlin. They're certainly going to be reaching it way before the French do. But the French have managed to stop all German attacks into Paris, and I have to say that's quite an accomplishment. Well, Hitler, you better get into your bunker. Shit is going to get rough. And indeed, the war is going to end far before 1942, but due to a lot of different reasons. I mean, of course, the choice of Italy to declare war on Greece was stupid, because they weren't even on the border with Greece, so it just made things very difficult for us. Marxist sympathies in the government, good. I like that. If we can turn Marxist, that would be a good thing. Let me actually get rid of any fascist demagogues we have here. Okay, good. So Ivo Lola Rubar is there, providing some communist support to our government, and that's exactly what we want. We are no longer fascists. You understand, my Russian friends? We now hate the fascists. We want to be communists. Please, allow us to become communists. And actually, after the peace conference occurs, we get to see exactly what happens. And that should be pretty cool here. Also, guys, if you're enjoying this series, make sure to let me know what you would like to see in the next series. You know, specifically, who would you like me to play as? What country would you like me to try? I'd really be interested in hearing your opinions. And here we go. It looks like the Axis is in trouble. Even the Italians over here are in trouble. Do we possibly have a few regions still under our control? We have one tiny region here, the region of Dalmatia. Just a tiny section of it that apparently is under our control. But, you know, the government control in that area is sketchy at best. We're going to be caught in Berlin with the rest of the Axis. For sure, all of the leaders are certainly hiding there, and it's only a matter of time before these Russians break through. Oh, you sneaky, sneaky Russians. We didn't really need a naval bomber. You know what? Oh well. We are already destroyed. What difference does it make? Defeatism has come and approached us already. Alright, let's see who gets there first. And of course, they're going to partition a lot of this part. And as you can see, Republican Spain has been fighting a lot here. They've taken a lot of Germany. Just imagine if this actually happened. They've also taken Luxembourg. I can't wait to see what they do with it. But of course, Republican Spain is actually part of the Comintern. So we're going to take a look here at the factions list right now. And you guys can see that the Comintern controls a significant portion of the country. I mean, it's amazing how much they control. This might be a totally communist Europe by the time the enemy is done with it. I can't wait to see what the aftermath is and what becomes of this world that we've created, that we've participated in. You know, we have been on the front line of assisting the Axis in probably some unspeakable atrocities to save, quote-unquote, save Yugoslavia, but that didn't work at all. And, of course, we'll accept the call to arms, but it's not going to do much good. They're asking for a call to arms when we're already destroyed. Trieste might be the final battle, World War II here. Not much of a world war, I must say. I mean, certainly a lot of people participated in it, but in terms of numbers and end dates, nothing special. Berlin is already getting pounded daily, guys, and I'm sure Hitler is terrified. There's nowhere really to run to. Usually the West has a tiny portion where the enemy can run, but no. The Yalta Conference, there we go. It looks like they're discussing peace terms now. Getting ready to discuss peace terms in any case, as Berlin is in reach at this point. I love that the Venezuelans provided us with so much support. I'm amazed by that. Let's just take a look here. And they were fascists, but I don't think they were part of the actual Axis. They just like to send volunteers to all of these fascist nations, which is quite interesting. Another one, which we missed, is the Siamese Empire, which, interestingly enough, was created by Japan in their conquest in the East. So that's one of the fascist nations that will stick around after Germany's destroyed. And I'm not sure if we automatically get released until all the fascist nations are killed off, but we'll have to see. So right now, the enemy's still not able to take Berlin. I mean, as you can see, they're getting cut off here near Breslau, and it might take a little while for the Soviets to get comfortable. But they're over here in this territory. They're assisting the Allies, or I should say they're assisting their Republican allies over here, and doing an amazing job. These guys fighting together, closing in on both sides. This is definitely going to be a mostly Soviet victory, a mostly Comintern victory for sure. And I think they're probably going to get to do whatever they want with all those states. Look at that German army, though. We will never surrender. A bit too late for them, I think. Come on, guys. Now they're just dragging it on. We can't go for the Liberty ethos, at least not now. Let's go for infrastructure effort, too. I quite like just watching what's going to happen here. There we go, they're sealing off the rest of these German troops that have gotten left behind. It's only a matter of time. And yeah, it looks like the Allies are actually sharing front lines with the Comintern. Saw some American troops attacking there. And it looks like Hungary's been called into the war. Probably not a very wise decision from Hungary. I mean, really, guys? You guys don't want to join this war right now. You're going to get crushed. It looks like the Soviets now, though, are going to have to deal with the Hungarians. But I think they're going to take Budapest very, very soon. I give it maybe a month, 2 months at best. Definitely some slow torture here, though, going on in terms of their treatment of the Germans, because they could basically just launch a massive attack, a human wave attack right now to just take Berlin, but they seem to kind of be taking their time, posturing around the city. I think they want to take Leipzig and Magdeburg first, so they don't have to worry about the Germans at all, but they're definitely playing it safe, to say the least. Look at that. All these German troops are up here trying to garrison, I think. Damn it, end the war already, you fools. Okay, Rome has fallen as well. And let's see if that fell into the Comintern or to the Allies. I think the Allies managed to take Rome. So there we go, yes. The French took Rome. Interesting. And they're going to be able to do with that what they want. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly what the Soviets demand. Remember that at the peace conference, depending on how you did in the war, depending on how many regions you take, you get a certain war score. And the Soviets here are really going to be able to dictate a huge amount of that war score at the peace talks and take a whole bunch. I'm thinking the Allies will get Italy. The Soviets will take everything out. There we go, guys. The fall of Berlin, and the Soviet bear is growing. So there we go. The German Reich has capitulated. Right now, it remains part of the Soviet Union. So they have annexed everything so far. They haven't done anything. And so far, peace talks are not yet finished. I think for the peace talks to actually begin, we need to make sure that Hungary is destroyed. And also that Italy is destroyed, because they still represent the Axis in Europe. We are just researching things for when hopefully we get our country back. Alright. Rome has actually fallen back out of the enemy hands. Looks like the Italians managed to take it back. They're putting up a better fight than the Germans are. Alright, looks like the French have kind of stopped right there outside of Rome. I'm surprised that the Axis hasn't just basically just agreed to surrender here, because there's no winners in this war right now. There's just no way that these guys could possibly win, so they might as well just surrender, accept the peace terms, and move on from there. Alright guys, I'm going to do a separate video actually for the peace conference if I see that occur, and we will jump back to see what the world looks like after the end of this world war.